All right, let's get into it. Will and Jada. So, okay.
It is tight.
We know it's old. We know it's a little old. Got to address it because I just don't think from looking at your Facebook, from looking at your timeline, from looking at your Instagram, from watching all the podcasts and watching all the outlets talk about it, I feel like a lot of people were off base. They were too busy trying to blame people for stuff and not seeing this as a life lesson, as a relationship lesson. That's what it was supposed to be. And that's how you should have took it. So let's start from the top. Start from the top. We go fill in the blanks on the timeline. Just stop me filling the blanks if I'm missing something. We watching Red Table Talk. We've been on Jada since what? Low Down Dirty Shame?
Nah, hold on. Since a different world.
Since Don't Be a Menace. Since Jason's Lyric. Since Jason's Lyric.
No, that's when we really first met Jada. Right there.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, pause. Them were some of the most vivid sex scenes I had seen up to that point. It might have been the most as far as my teenage, or no, hold up. That was early 90s, nigga. And so, yeah, this is prepubescent. Yeah, so, yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Right. Yeah, I don't know when I saw it. I'm sure I wasn't supposed to see it. I'm certain of that. I wasn't supposed to see it, but I saw it, and it had to be other things. But Peaches from Low Down Dirty Shame, I felt that was it. That's my woman. That's who I'm married. And inside joke, you know the inside joke. That's the one. Oh, bro, I got a sense of humor out here, and got a sense of humor out here. So we know her from back then. She's with Will, deservingly to us, deservingly so. Man on top of the game. Rumors have been going around for ages. I didn't care about no rumors. Like, I got my own business about celebrities going through stuff. And to be honest, I grew up in a coercive household. So if someone said, something, I don't know, abstract, odd, maybe a little aggressive is going on, or abnormal is going on in a black household, I'm not bad to eye. But if they say something about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, I'm like, for what? What do you mean? So they had rumors, right? They had rumors swirling around. Jada has been out of the limelight, not making as many movies. The kids are growing up, they're successful, they're different, they're eclectic. We're learning more about her, but she comes out with this show, Red Table Talk. I'm watching it. Beautiful, beautiful. I haven't honestly seen, other than Michelle Obama, seen a black woman take that mantle and take advantage of it to just bring positivity in all women into their lives. All women. Introspection, catharsis, taking responsibility, speaking things into fruition, learning about your spirituality, just all these different things, and then bringing it into a relationship. Will said it himself. He was so proud of her doing this show. He was so proud of her doing this show. And then this episode with this dude come up, man. Young dude, August. They said September now.
Body language started changing. Topics started changing. I said, okay. Mental note. Keep going.
Mental note. All up on youngin', man. Your daughter and you and your mom on the episode saying, August. What are we out here doing? What happened? I'm like, yo. I remember her on episode saying, Will, I don't care what joker I'm with. He could be on this other side of the house with somebody else. I could be on this side of the house with somebody else. But as long as we in that house, we're youngin'. We're September and all.
People just not listening.
Let it go. Dude did not come back up. I didn't really understand what was going on. The daughter came up, started talking about polyamorous relationships. Just all types of things start happening on the show. Nothing was wrong with that. It was just bringing me into the thought process as far as relationships go. And seeing how comfortable she was speaking about, the way she felt, I felt this was untapped energy and uncharted territory that women should have been able to speak about, so men can have a better understanding of their partners and have better respect, just more respect for them and their uniqueness and their individuality. If you come into the relationship and you have a better understanding who you're working with, you can better plan and adjust to that for both parties. I felt like women have historically adjusted more to us and not us to them. Pimping and bringing flowers and tricking is not adjusting. That's just taking advantage of a situation, of the things that you have advantage in, whether you make more money, whether you're stronger, whatever the case was, you took advantage of that situation and you exploited it. Now you get in a situation where this person speaks their entire mind, has their entire piece, and is entirely themselves, and then they don't have to deal with you, and then you have to compromise. So that's going on. No issues. But then this dude out here in September, putting out here kissing and telling, everything blows up, everyone has an opinion, and then they do the episode. You saw the interview with your boy September?
I thought, okay, like I was saying, I made a mental note, but I didn't know what to do with that note, because I was like, okay, this isn't as, and then, oh, how can I say, let me complete it. I was thinking to myself, this isn't as introspective, or like, it was the flow of it was different, and I didn't know what to attribute it to. And then the first thing that popped in my mind was like, you know what? He might be the youngest guest she's ever had. Maybe she's just trying to switch the flow up and kind of blase and keep it cute, right? So I was like,
are you talking about Angela Yee's?
No.
I'm talking about Angela Yee's. When he came out and he started snitching.
I didn't see that whole interview. I just saw that 2-minute clip between them two where
that's good enough. That's good enough. And go ahead. What were you saying about it?
That I just kind of made a mental note of, not really knowing what it was attributed to. And then now that we're connecting all of these dots, it was like, okay, that's what that energy was where, I wasn't crazy. You know what I mean? I saw that energy.
Right.
That's what it was. And then and then when we started having those types of conversations, it was like, okay. And to be perfectly honest, I related it back to boxing. Take what somebody's giving you. Don't do all this extra stuff. Stop wasting all this energy. Take what somebody gives you. From face value, I've seen multiple interviews where Will said we were on the rocks and he was talking about different situations. Several. And this has been since he's been back in the bubble and letting us into his life. Matter of fact, it was kind of at the beginning of it when he first started buying all the technology and the drones and doing all of this. He said it in those interviews, but we were just so happy to see him, we wasn't paying attention. He said it several times, and then just like we were saying, we're seeing these trips, we're seeing weird energy. He in the front of the pack, she in the back of the pack. The kids are split up. They don't want to be there. You got extra people there. You don't even know why they're there. Like, what's going on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't seeing that. Out on trip, the kids were always upset about nothing. I know kids don't like their fathers, but why are you guys so upset as if you don't do these things? I felt like Will was doing things he would normally do, but he also mentioned that there was transformation in his life and that He was learning how to interact, and he was learning more about himself. He was learning how to not be as selfish. So maybe these were new things. But what I was seeing is that you guys are mad because August gone. Oh, because September gone. Did you feel that? I'm off base.
Hold on, you got mad that he was gone?
No, the kids, when they were on those trips and they all always had those salty faces. Like we had more fun with September, with August. This dude out here trying to, come on, man.
I mean, hold on, before you go further. I mean, yeah, he would because he's your age, which is the foulest anyway.
Which brings us down to the nitty gritty. How did this all start? So they had the talk. He put out their business, and she felt that she had to address it. And Will, I guess he felt we'll address that a little later, but Will's there. But how did you meet this young dude? Because Will's son introduced him to his mom.
So let's start there. Let's not even talk about Will or Jada right now. Let's talk about the levels of violation here. Let's just talk about that part. When has it ever been okay for me as your partner to date your mama? When has that ever been let slide? That has never been let slide. This was even an 8 Mile and he ain't let it slide. Come on, bro. That does not happen. So that's violation number 1. Not only on August Alsina, you knew you was dead ass wrong for that, and you did it anyway. And
Jay, you saying that just now, I felt like fighting you just now. Thinking about you trying my mom's, man. I felt like fighting you right now. Now.
I'll make it this simple. Let's say we had Juneteenth cookout. I come in the kitchen like normally, say what's up to your mom, and give your mom a too tight hug and lean in too close. It's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue, bro.
And again, my son. When I grew up, and my dad wasn't around, and we could be on horrible terms with my father. Horrible terms. Horrible. Hate that he even comes around at all. He keep giving us dry cornflakes, no sugar. He keep making us eat inbread. He trying to make us do chores at weird times of the day. Mopping the basement floor with ammonia. All types of nonsense. But as soon as a guy with money, good looking, smell good, steps to my mom, off limits. Why you over here? We don't need you. We're good. we rode 3 buses to get here because we don't have a car, but we don't need your help. I'm a starve out here. I don't need nothing from you as the son. But then I'm gonna bring my friend to my mom just did a movie about dating young dudes, and I'm so violation. Everybody violating.
Hold on. Pause. I just realized the timeline of that photo. I think that might have been Essence Fest, where they were shooting the movie.
Man. You know what? We're gonna stop on that because I'm done. In the interview, he said I was done with.
Hold on. Say it. Bring me in.
Bill said, I was done with you. So we're gonna stop. That's all right. She is a woman. She deserves her peace and her individuality, and she deserves to be treated the way she says she should be treated. I don't know what Will was not doing. That's on him. That's on them. But violation is violation. And if Will violated, he does. I mean, not that you deserve. It's not an eye for an eye. But if something happens, that is a reaction to something you did. we're gonna leave it there. If the evidence comes out he did something as well to initiate this, you know, everything comes, you know, with a price. Every good deed, what's the saying? Something unpunished. It happens. But violations occurred. Egregious violations occurred. So we get there.
Hold on. And I'm not gonna say, you know, more to extend it. What I'm gonna say is this is just volume 1, because we really have only addressed the very first 2 minutes of that interview. Like, we haven't talked about none of the things we were gonna talk about.
Right. No, we got off track. Because we got off track.
We were on track, but we were realizing things as we were going along.
Speaking of which, coming back to the fold, coming back to the content, we're in the interview, their reactions. Again, we're doing what Will is doing. We're reliving. Like, you tried it. You tried it. So basically, what I'm getting from all this is that, number one,
you can see it in his face the whole time. When somebody speaks to you through their teeth, come on, man. Go ahead, though.
I mean, I thought he was drunk, high, or just woke up, or just didn't care. Like, okay, I got to do this. Okay, then I'm going to do this. It's going to get done. It's going to get done how I want to do it. We're going to be in here. We're going to be in this room tonight. You know, we're going to be here. All right. But getting back to it, he was experiencing it as we just were in this, you know, in this conversation we're having. So in saying that, and to encapsulate it from, you know, a different vantage point, you know, everybody else looking at it, you guys got it all wrong. Oh, they were swinging, or she was wrong, or he was wrong, and all this other. They had a relationship for many years. They got into a relationship young. And one thing we like to say to each other as we go through things is, you changed on me. You didn't own up to your vows. You didn't do X, Y, and Z. And what you didn't realize is that you got into a relationship with a person that has not fully come into themselves. You got in a relationship with a person that hadn't gone through their complete maturation. And you did not either. So they didn't change as if they're changing on you. They were just growing into the person that they wanted to be. That may have got blocked by some of the mandatory or mundane or routine things they had to do because of kids, because of jobs, and all these other things. So these are natural reactions to being around someone that long. They were not, in my opinion, swinging. They did not have an open relationship. They went through points in time where they said, I am done with you. Let's take a break. But who is going to come on TV and say, and give you like milestone dates? In 1996, we took a break. In 2001, we took a break this time. This is the only one we're addressing because we have social media now. Go ahead.
Especially with, and okay, when somebody says, I want blank type of love, what do they say? I want a Will and Jada type of love. And they are very aware of that. They are very aware of that and the energy that is associated with that. And with them being those types of people that are willing to make those types of adjustments, I think that in those periods, like you were saying, that they accepted that this was a period where they probably needed to be away from each other. But there was, how would you say, a cordial understanding of just things to normalize your family atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Not like sexual agreements or this and that and the third, but we're not going to act crazy around our kids. Our compound might be big enough for us to still be in the same area and act normal around our family, and it's just going to be what it is right now. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that just went to another level, but go ahead.
But no, they didn't know. They didn't know. You saw your timeline. You saw the news feeds. You saw your Insta stories. You saw all this stuff. They didn't know. They thought this was a facade they were putting up. They thought that they were swinging, and Will didn't want to admit it, and they gave that boy permission, and Jada broke his heart, and she shouldn't have took advantage of him and all this stuff. No, the girl was hurt. She didn't understand herself. She said she was addicted to porn at one time. Her mother raised her while she was on drugs. Jada raised her while she was on drugs. She got married young. She went to art school, but she was always into guys that had controversy swirling around them. She's still crying about Tupac to this day. I have exes who had exes that died, and they don't cry about them the way she cries about these people. She has a different attachment in her relationships. It is so spiritual. It is so mental. It is so emotional because it's filling in so many voids that she missed out or that were left out in her life, that it's hard to disconnect at different periods in your life, and they will resurface. This is another person in pain. So when people saying, oh, she said she got off, you're not understanding hurt language. You coming from a standpoint of being healed, trying to analyze someone that's hurt and speaking out of pain. She's not coming up here every day as a guru. She's coming up here with experience. She's coming up here with testimony, not the expert, coming with testimony. Most of the time she has a show. She has guests. She has other people speak, and she has pauses because she's acknowledging she is learning something. Like, again, has nothing to do with going to school or anything of that nature or higher education, but it takes a person that knows how to listen to understand when people are speaking. If you're too busy speaking or too busy trying to be right or getting your point across, you're not listening for the cues the other person is having or giving you under the surface. She is hurt, and she has been hurt. All their stories, for the longest, she used to be asleep for so long. She would never wake up. The daughter always talked about these. Mom, but Jada will have to bring it up because they know better. Don't bring up nothing on Jada on her show. She would say, oh, I used to be so depressed. Mom, you were depressed. Oh, when I was mad, honey, yeah, Mama, you used to always be mad. Oh, I did this, got entanglement with August, September. What was it? But you didn't see people call her out the blue because they knew the type of reaction they would get from what? A hurt person. It wasn't so much she was getting off on helping somebody else. It's the only time she felt valued. She had no value, fam. Come on.
Now, that I totally agree. And that was the angle that the behavioral psychologist I was telling you about was giving. He was like, what her addiction is to is the treatment of a neurotic person. And so not only is it the nurturing of doing that or the process of doing that, but she sees herself and part of herself that she had to let go. And remember, she said, I haven't felt like this in a really long time.
Okay.
And who was she with? Who was she with before Will? The only person that we know of that was neurotic was your boy Tupac. And I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but this is what it's getting pointed to. This is the art school kid, the guy that was conflicted and didn't really know himself. Conflicted and didn't know himself, but you loved him anyway. But you loved him anyway. That's what she saw. That's what she saw. Hold on. Why was he the same age as Pac though? I'm saying.
That's the problem. And that's why we're doing this. Like, that's why we create our own platform. Because I'm tired of listening to other people that just put content out because they want to hear themselves speak, or they just want to have an opinion about something. You have a platform at this point, and so you should be responsible. You should explore angles. If you have a time limit on what you're speaking about, and it's going to undercut deeper meanings, or your responsibility to have some integrity, don't speak on it. Well, no, you have the right to, And so I got the right to jump in here. So I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. No one in these places of high influence or there's very little people that are doing this for the actual, from an authentic, standpoint or have any integrity. Everything is about ratings. And I don't care where this goes. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. You're going to bring up a topic to me and I'm going to speak on it honestly. I could care less. I could care less. Or couldn't care less. I forgot how it goes. But yeah, I could care less. Like, again, that's why I liked her show, because she was coming from honesty, from the most vulnerable space she could do it in, and you couldn't attack her. So she could expand on her topics, and we had to listen to them. It wasn't through a show where you had all this character development and see things happen over time. You had a woman speaking her mind with no producer telling her what to do, no man telling her what to do or wear, nobody critiquing their clothes. It was 3 women here, not gossiping, because men can gossip too. Not arguing, because men can argue too. Not trying to promote something, because men can promote something too. Just a woman trying to protect their space and had the cachet to do it and actually cared enough about other people to continue doing it in that pattern. We used to watch our Oprahs, right? We used to applaud our Gales, right? But the most recent Black woman that we could trust that had a public platform was Michelle Obama. Was Michelle Obama. I like Angela Rye.
Amanda Seals, I'll throw her in there.
I like Amanda Seals. She keep the energy.
Not only does she keep the energy, but with her being an actress, she makes it palatable. You know what I mean? For everybody. And I love that with the visuals, the way she talks about it. She even makes songs out of somebody. I think she put something on iTunes. You know what I'm saying? I love how she get down.
And with her political acumen, with her comedic timing, the fact that she can sing, and the fact that I forget that's Amanda Seals on Insecure. I forget that's her every time.
She's a great actress.
I forget that every time. And who's a male? And again, I'm not overselling this. Her comedic timing and approach on her platform, to me, is comparable to Jamie Foxx and his Jamie Foxx show.
Okay.
Because it didn't launch him. Black people knew about Jamie Foxx and Jamie Foxx show, right? It didn't launch him into the stratosphere. I think Ray and him making that album and those songs launched him into the stratosphere. We knew he was funny before, and we liked him, but we didn't put him up there with Martin Lawrence. We didn't put him up there with Eddie Murphy. But now you can take a story if someone says the most talented comedian I've ever seen was Jamie Foxx, because he can act his butt off. He can sing his butt off. He can tell a story with the best of them. He can go off the dome as far as joning on you with the best of them. He can host a show. He can host a party. He can change into any person on screen, on stage, with the best of them. With the best of them. And so when someone says that about him, you're like, and then we have our women out here. Amanda Seals could be a Tiffany Haddish if she wanted to, on the stage, behind the camera. If she wanted to be a Halle Berry in the movie, or a Robin Givens in the movie, if they wanted to give her that part, that sexy role, she could, come on. She can get.
We got the body for it.
If you want to talk serious, talk politics, if you want someone to hold their ground on the opposite end of a whoever, a male, a political pundit, she can hold her space. She can hold her ground. She can overpower you if she needs to. She's very comfortable doing that, and she can sing.
If BET was still the powerhouse that it was, I would suggest that she be a combination of The Daily Show and what Tamron Hall does.
Right.
Does that make sense? Because we had that news medium and people were actually watching it, but having her with the political commentary with the comedic twist like The Daily Show does, but that would be good. And you got to understand, it's a whole generation of people that don't watch the news and watch The Daily Show.
Right.
So that could be a great lane for her if somehow that comes into play.
Right. And we got way off topic. I'm going to bring it way back because, again, we're acknowledging how much we appreciate women just as much as we appreciate any other human being. And the energy Jada was bringing to this show is phenomenal. It's just phenomenal in itself. Just acknowledge somebody else. There was other people that were doing other influential things as women. And then coming into that and bringing it back home, they can be hurt and they can do things. It's not predatory. It's not predatory. It's just hurt behavior, and we can call it that. If we keep calling all criminals inherent or innate criminals, we're not really addressing the issue. If we say Jada was being predatory, instead of really looking into her past and see what she's been saying the whole time before August even got there, Will knew that too. Or he should have known. That's his wife. Mm-hmm. Those his kids. He should have known how she was going to react to another hurt person anyway, from the jump. So all this happened. At the end of the interview, they did their things. Will is it, he out here looking, I don't know, like all the memes they made of him. He's looking like all of that. But what I really appreciate is we saw a man, a super alpha gorilla, look at his wife and said, I don't understand you, but I'm gonna find out how to. I'm gonna find out how to understand you because I'm gonna understand myself better, and I'm rocking with you. Oh, it's toxic, it's all these other things. Last time I checked, it was toxic having 13 kids. It's toxic raising these kids without a two-parent household. It's toxic trying to tell these adults that have been raised this way that something's wrong with them and we need to do something to fix them instead of trying to address it in the grassroots level at the bottom, trying to keep these families together and working things out and trying to figure things out without being aggressive, without being violent. Because last time I checked, I didn't hear about anybody getting punched, uppercutted, cut, stabbed, shot. I didn't see anybody commit suicide. I didn't see any car crashes. I didn't see any alcoholism causing, some uncalled for deaths or injuries. Some of these things may have happened, but they were a regular family going through regular things. And since you heard about it, you felt that some action needed to be taken to separate them. And they took action to continue raising their kids, continue growing as individuals, and continuing showing us an example of a strong couple that has great influence over even our self-love, to be honest, Black love of self. When you see another woman and she's acting a way that maybe stereotypically she's been described to act, how do you normally respond to that? How's Will responded to his? Make you second guess what you're doing. Make you second guess how you talk to your wife, how you talk to your daughter, how you talk to your mother, how you treat a woman that you don't know. Game, set, match.
It's this whole situation got me paying attention a little bit more. I mean, I always try to look at things through multiple lenses, but what I saw from the raw footage without seeing anybody else's opinion on it, what I saw was, and just looking at Will, from the Jada perspective, I was just thinking she's trying to get something off of her chest that's difficult for her to. And in doing so, she's trying to take some of the pressure off of herself, but I'm not mad at her for that because that's what people naturally do when things are uncomfortable. Now, looking at Will, what I saw was, when I first watched it, I made a point to halfway listen to what he was saying, but really watch his mannerisms and watch the emotion. And what stuck out like a sore thumb was the amount of pain that was in this man's face having to go through this. And the momentary times when he would swallow it, you would literally see him swallow it. His shoulders would perk back up for a second, and he would give like a head nod to the side, or he would flash a smile real quick. And then as soon as the dialogue started again, his body language kind of slumped back down, and his face was slumped back down. And that is a telltale sign of sadness. Now, whether that is the overall emotion of what they're going through right now, or if that is him reliving something that was very painful to him that he didn't think he was going to have to relive. So.
No, you're right. You're right. And again, to me, Obama, game, set, match. Will, game, set, match. Good leader or not good leader? How do you respond to failure? How do you respond to trials and tribulations? How do you respond to devastation? The lowest of the low. I'm like, this whole example of what it is to be a man is always, to me, it's always like the proactive stuff that they speak about. Like what you're doing, oh, you're going to keep your wife from paying any bills, or you're going to handle your business and no one has to tell you anything twice, and you're always going to be assertive. And no, what are you going to do when that's not the case? When it wasn't the case to begin with? That's what I want to see. The manhood. What is Errol Spence boxing going to do after he got in a car crash and could have left his daughters without a father? What is he going to do? Yeah. What did Mike Tyson do on the opposite end when things went up and things came down? Did he fix it right away? Did he man up when it was time to man up? What is Will going to do when all these things he's faced with, when he has a wife who's in love with what we may perceive as the greatest rapper of all time, and he's also a rapper? We forget that. A guy that's trying to improve his fluidity and depth and width as an actor in the face of the best raptor actor that we've probably ever seen. That's my wife. Oh, okay. But I'm Big Will, right? I'm Big Will.
I think that we're humanizing Will in a way that he has never been humanized since being a megastar. But he's not invincible, and I'm actually glad that we're seeing that. I'm really glad we're seeing it.
I don't want to see Jordan. I want to see LeBron. I'm not even going to say LeBron is the best. All I'm going to say is that I like the fact that I can see him make mistakes and I can see him fix them in real time. That's what your dad was supposed to show you. That's what your dad was supposed to show you. Not that I need a dad, but a lot of these kids do. A lot of these kids need an example. Flawless victory. Flawless victory. Handle it with your wife. I don't care about what they said at the end. I'm not nitpicking that until, again, what do they say? Until Black Lives Matter. Until Black Lives Matter, all lives will not matter. Until I have enough great examples of people in my Black community, I'm not going to concentrate on publicly criticizing them. I'm not going to keep doing that. So yeah, I'm going to keep talking about the positive things I see instead of critiquing and bringing us down or bringing us back to reality. as if we didn't have enough reality. Oh, but they did this and they did that, and at the end, man, this is not what they need to see. What you showing them? What you showing them, Joe Budden? Nothing against Joe Budden. But you got all this critique. Where your relationship at? What are you teaching these kids? Breakfast Club, black men don't cheat, Charlemagne, and DJ Envy. What y'all teaching them? That you gonna make girls cry? That you gonna talk about sucking, farts out girls' butts and never readdressing that? Again, nothing against you changing, but I'm gonna need you to back up. I'm gonna need every time you speak to start with, I came from here and got here, maybe I can suggest. Don't come from this standpoint. You only been clean for like a year or two. Come on, man. Same things. Everybody got something to say about Obama. Again, I understand. But I seen that dude bounce back way better than y'all did. There was no plant. He was no plant for getting in Yale or Harvard. His wife was no plant for being an attorney. He was in plant because he had black daughters. He was in the plant because he spoke the English language better than most of us. And again, I'm not knocking you not speaking perfect English, because I don't. But I'm not aspiring to be in the position that he's in. So he aspired to do something that you didn't think you could do, and he got it done. And instead of constantly hitting them on the low, hey, my man, I'm going to need you to do this. And then when he do something wrong, having his back, y'all said, oh, nah, he's trash. George Floyd made a whole bunch of mistakes, and something happened bad to him. I see you had his back. I had his back too. But your man that go on top, trying to get stuff done and make some mistakes and overlook some things, he has to constantly get taken down off the mantle by his detractors and his used-to-be supporters. So now we just erase that example. He never existed. We need to redo. Oh, now we need to, okay. So when you, my man, are met with adversity, when you see devastation, when you have failure, I need to redo. I'm not gonna fix it. I just need to redo. Restart the game. Take out the cartridge. Tired of this game. That's what you do. That's what you do. Again, so I'm never the individuals that are trying.
Right.
I'm not gonna criticize you for trying. When you step out of your lane and you're going against us because you have to make some other point for whatever reason, that's when I'm coming at you. What you got to close? Because we want to focus on this.
I was just gonna say that it's, as far as the perspectives go, because I want to kind of, we were on a micro level. I want to go kind of macro just for a little bit. I think that I'll piggyback on what you were saying. In looking at this, we really need to humanize everybody, man. Like we all have flaws, we all have issues, especially right now with the pandemic, everybody being in the house longer than they should be, not moving their body the same way. So we got to understand that our chemical makeup right now is off. So the way that we're thinking, the way that we're processing things is a little bit different. So with that knowledge that we have now, once we come out of this and we get back into this regular world, and people's, the next time we have those types of interactions, we should still keep that knowledge instead of throwing it out as if it never happened. So that's why I would, how can I say this? I wouldn't say cancel culture, but let's understand what we're doing. Let's understand what we're doing, and if we're gonna do it, let's not be selective. If you're gonna do it all the way, and if we're not gonna do it, let's be understanding and be regular. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, I'm with all that. So I'm gonna say, so people will always know, I love everybody. I love myself more, and if I love myself more, who created me? My mother. My mother is Black. Who do I love more than anything on this earth? Black women. Period. Point blank. I would not be here. I don't think anyone else would be here if that first one was not here. if that first one was not willing to sacrifice. So if I step out of line, I will take that on the chin. Any criticism for that, I will take it on the chin. I'll address it if it needs to be addressed. And I will not tolerate any disrespect. Now, you can address women. There's a way to address women. But I would not tolerate any disrespect on their behalf. And so I think we brought this together well. Overall, humanizing us all. We're definitely going to defend ourselves and let people know or let people see the human, the vulnerable part of us, right? And that'll be our primary objective in a lot of this. I mean, again, it'll be our body. We're going to talk about sports. It'll be our bodies that are mostly involved in these sports. So in critiquing the sport and judging the sport, we're using that as a microcosm of life itself. And that's what most men, the reason we watch sports, we're looking for that to play out as an example of how we can triumph and obstacles we may encounter and how to slip and roll, you know what I'm saying, and go with the punches. And so always keeping that in mind, I feel will keep us honest about the topics we're talking about. And then we can always bring it home with that. That's how I see it. You can take that how you want to take it.
Yeah. Sounds pretty concise to me.
Yeah.